coming out. He's throwing his jacket down. And when he dives under the bottom rope into the ring, he falls back on his ass. And we were wondering, okay, he's not getting back up. What the hell's going on?
Rewind, recap, relive. For over 50 episodes, the revolutionary force in wrestling interview.
Fast forwarding, still on the topic of Royal Rumble, when you're standing in between two other people, 2005, John Cena, Batista, and I don't know how you and the other officials were able to do that on the fly. I've heard so many stories surrounding it, but I still feel like you guys did a great job concealing it because I don't really know if what happened. Can you take us through that?
Yeah.
And the pressure.
Yeah, I'm going to peel back the curtain a little bit here on this one, if you don't mind. But okay, the finish didn't go off as originally planned. So it was John Cena and Batista, the last two in the ring. They were both going to go over the top. Dave was going to hang on to the top rope. John was going to hit the floor. Dave wins the Royal Rumble to go on to WrestleMania to face the champion. Unfortunately, during the course of that match, that top rope can get really wet from all the sweat that's on it. Dave couldn't hang on. He just slipped right off. And you couldn't time it any better that they both hit the floor at the same time. Almost like they wanted to do it that way.
Exactly.
But it just happened that way because Dave was supposed to go over and he was a Raw superstar and John Cena was a SmackDown superstar. One of the Raw referees, I think it was Jack Dolan, went over and raised Dave's hand instinctively because that was the finish originally scheduled. And we got it. We wore the IFBs, the earpiece, and Gerald Briscoe says one of the SmackDown refs go out there and raise John Cena's hand. So I ran right over as soon as I could, and Charles and I were like, "No, he's the winner." And we started the arguing back and forth. No, he's the winner. He's the winner. While this is going on, we could hear again in our IFBs them calling for the other refs in the back, find the respective general managers, Teddy Long and Eric Bischoff, because they wanted them to come out and get into an argument to do the deal where they continue the match with the two competitors until we find a winner. Apparently, they decided they wanted to miss the traffic and skipped out a little early. And when Vince came out, to the back, we know the Mr. McMahon character. This wasn't Mr. McMahon character. This was a PO'd Vince. And we were, what's going on here? And he's coming out, and he's throwing his jacket down. And when he dives under the bottom rope into the ring, he falls back on his ass. And we were wondering, okay, he's not getting back up. What the hell's going on? So he's like, come over here, God damn it. And he's screaming. So we're getting instructions and then, make the match continue. And he's giving us the instructions there as the authority figure. So they continued the match and went to the proper finish where Batista eventually eliminated Cena. Mm-hmm. But we didn't know at the time that Vince had torn both quads. And when they tried to help him after he rolled out under the body to help him, he refused help. And he made it to the back on his own with two torn quads. So if anybody questions his toughness, okay, I know he's the name that we shouldn't be talking about right now, but I got to tell you how it happened then.
No, you have to,
So we got to the back and they said, it looked like it was called on the fly, but there was a little bit of help. Thank goodness for those, the evolution of the earpiece, because before we had that, we had to rely on the timekeeper at ringside to give us time cues with hand signals. When it was time to go home, he'd put the pencil in his mouth, and you'd have to look. So you occasionally would have to look over there. And the artistic part about it is to look over there without making it seem obvious that you're looking for a cue. Right. Like if there was a false finish, 1-2, no, he kicked out. So you're looking at the timekeeper, kind of looking to get the cue from him while you're doing that. Or no, he doesn't quit, or something, whatever you're doing. But yeah, those earpieces were both a blessing and a curse.
Rewind, recap, relive. For over 50 episodes, the revolutionary force in wrestling interview.